Welcome Guardians, Profane here, thanks for checking out the video. Today we are discussing the return of a character of whom we thought was lost to the darkness forever, Asher Mir. We last saw Asher Mir defending Io as the pyramid ships sought to destroy it. Asher chose to stay behind on Io in order to prevent the looming threat of the darkness from discovering the true and hidden nature of the Vex's occupation on Io. But now, after this week's incursion from the Vex in the last city, we now have undeniable proof that Asher Mir did in fact survive the destruction on Io, and has now in fact become that which he spent so much of his life preventing to become, a Vex Harpy, which can be found overlooking the events of the Vex incursion in the last city. But what does the return of Asher Mir mean for the future of Destiny? That is exactly what we are trying to determine today. As always, if you enjoy the video, find it helpful, well, I'd appreciate you smashing that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Now, going off of the duress and egress lore under Asher conclusion, we know that Asher's final moments before the collapse of Io were of Asher traversing into the Pyramidion in an attempt to prevent the darkness from discovering the true power and scope of the Vex Network. And as Asher entered the Pyramidion, it was almost as if he was being welcomed by the Vex. Asher himself being poisoned by radiolarium after his encounters with Brachyon the Genesis Mind. Now this left Asher and his ghost altered and disfigured. So was it here that Asher assimilated himself into the Vex Network in an attempt to stop the darkness? Or was Asher infected with the consciousness of Brachyon and now has become one of the Vex? Personally, I believe it is here that Asher knew that in order for us to defeat the darkness, he would have to assimilate with the Vex, so that he could eventually build a machine to disable the pyramids. After all, it is Zavala, after the reformation of the Traveler, who had visions of Asher contacting the Vanguard through the Vex Network to bring down the pyramids. But why a Harpy? In Asher's final moments on Io, he submerged himself into a radiolarium lake. Taking into account Asher's body had already began to transform into Vex-like creation, by submerging his entire body into this radiolarium, it would melt away the remaining flesh and fully transform Asher forever, meaning that Asher simply wouldn't have that same humanoid body to transpose as any longer. But beyond that, Asher may have assimilated himself into the network so extensively that he no longer has the need for a physical form, so is using this Harpy as a vessel to communicate to the Vanguard. The real question I find here is whether or not this Harpy can be trusted. The Harpy attempts to communicate to Guardians in the last city through a series of beeps, which has been translated into the word assistant, which of course is what Asher always referred to the Guardian as. But it is the Guardian that Asher felt he never expressed his high opinions for. So it's logical that if Asher were to try to contact any of the Vanguard, that it would be the young wolf. And hopefully this Harpy is the catalyst for the takedown of the darkness. But if this Harpy is really just Brachyon in disguise, then Guardians will have more than just Savathun to worry about in the upcoming months. It just seems a little coincidental and almost as if it was shoved into this, that we see this Harpy appear at the same time as a Vex incursion in the last city. We never saw this Harpy at any previous moment in any of the other override missions or expunge missions, yet we see it now during this Vex incursion. And it is also here that we see and discover that Osiris is definitely up to something if it is still Osiris. With this Harpy being included in the epilogue for Season of the Splicer, it's clear that whatever role it will play, that it will be a significant one towards the development of the story Guardians will play out through for Season 15 all the way through Witch Queen DLC. And we already know that Season 15 looks to be quite a long season. In fact, the longest season that we've ever had in Destiny 2. So, what are your thoughts on the emergence of this Harpy in the last city? Is it Asher here to help, or is it Brachyon here to destroy? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If so, be sure to hit that like button below and the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Both are greatly appreciated, and until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane wishing you some happy hunting.